In a mist-strapped valley where the grass never rushes, an old mammoth hums lullabies that bend the wind to sleep. Somewhere between the last sigh of day and the first blink of night, there is a place where even the stars lean low to listen. If you'd like to submit your own story, please follow the instructions in the description. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy these videos, please hit that like button. And if you really enjoy these stories, consider supporting us through the link in the description. Doing so will help us continue to keep our videos free for everyone forever. Thank you. Now let's begin. Her mother had warned her not to linger in the woods after the sun's last breath. Aiko froze, her breath catching in her throat. It was a sound both ancient and ethereal, like the slow, steady pulse of a sleeping giant. The Whisper Mammoth. They called it a being of pure energy that roamed these lands long ago. Fear gave way to wonder. Aiko took a hesitant step forward, then another. The mammoth didn't respond, but its presence was a reply in itself, an invitation to share in its tranquility. Aiko sat down on a nearby stone, still enveloped by the calming vibrations. She closed her eyes, leaning back against the rough texture of the rock. For the first time in her life, she felt truly at peace. The vibrations intensified, wrapping around her like a warm blanket, soothing the wild thumping of her heart. Her quest led her to the edge of the forest, where a babbling brook meandered through fields of wildflowers. "Ah, so you seek the song of the ancients," she said, her voice like rustling leaves. "It is a melody almost forgotten, yet it still echoes in this world, if you know where to listen." There, nestled between the trees and the open meadow, lived an old woman named Ella, known throughout the land for her wisdom and her connection to the ancient tales. The Whisper Mammoth was gone. Aiko rose, stretching out her arms as if to reach for the stars. She returned to the clearing every evening, hoping to catch another glimpse of the majestic creature. In the center stood a towering oak, its branches reaching towards the sky like gnarled fingers. She would carry the Whisper Mammoth's song within her heart, sharing its wisdom with anyone who crossed her path. Visions flashed through her mind. Whispers of a forgotten language danced on her lips. Whenever someone stumbled into her path, their burdened heart or troubled mind would find solace in her calming presence. She would wander through the mist-laden glades, her bare feet barely making a sound on the soft earth. Her destination was always the same, the ancient oak in the heart of the Whisper Grove. There, beneath its sheltering branches, she would sit for hours, enveloped by the tranquil hum that seemed to emanate from the very core of the tree. The very air around her seemed to hum with a gentle vibration, a reminder of the ancient bond she shared with the Whisper Mammoth. With each passing day, Aiko's understanding of the natural world deepened. The Whisper Mammoth's song became her guide, leading her to hidden springs of healing water, groves where ancient spirits lingered, and paths once walked by mythical creatures. And as Aiko surrendered to its soothing rhythm, she felt a profound sense of connection not only to the Whisper Mammoth, but to all living beings. She became the forest's confidant, its sorrows and joys echoing within her own heart. The song wove its magic around her, opening her senses to the subtle energies that coursed through the forest. She knew that her understanding was but a drop in the vast ocean of the forest's knowledge. With each passing year, she walked the ancient paths with a newfound reverence, forever changed by the Whisper Mammoth's timeless song. And then she heard it, the ancient song, vibrating within the very core of the oak. "Here the veil between the worlds is thinnest," Ilara said, placing a hand on the rough bark. When she opened them again, she saw the Whisper Mammoth standing before her, its form shimmering with otherworldly light. It dipped its head in acknowledgement, its eyes reflecting the wisdom of ages past. All around her, the forest sighed in contentment, its myriad voices harmonizing in a chorus of peace. "And here you will find your answer." It was a repository of ancient knowledge, a trove of wisdom that had lain dormant for millennia. As Aiko delved deeper into its mysteries, she began to unlock secrets that had been hidden from human understanding for countless ages. As their fingers met, a jolt of energy surged through her, unlocking memories that had always been a part of her, but she had never known. She remembered a time when she roamed these forests with the Whisper Mammoth by her side, when the two of them had played amidst the ancient trees, their laughter echoing through the valleys. But it was as if it had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only the faintest trace of its ethereal hum. The vibrations lingered in her fingertips, a gentle reminder of the mammoth's presence. The elders said it was just a myth, a whisper in the wind to keep children like Aiko from wandering too far in the woods. Yet here it was, as real and as tangible as the clearing in which it stood. It was her responsibility to ensure that the Whisper Mammoth's song continued to resonate within the forest, bringing balance and harmony to the natural world. Curiosity gnawed at her, urging her forward. Despite the primal fear that screamed at her to run, she couldn't help but feel drawn towards the mysterious hum. The elders had dismissed them as mere tales, but what if there was more to those stories than they knew? What if the Whisper Mammoth wasn't just a myth, but a living, breathing part of the forest? It was a time when shadows grew teeth and the forest woke from its slumber to play its nightly games. The joy that the Whisper Mammoth had brought her contrasted sharply with the hollowness she now felt. She missed the soothing vibrations, the silent wisdom that had resonated within her. The sun dripped below the jagged teeth of the mountains, staining the sky in hues of apricot and rose. Aiko, a young forager with hair like woven flax and eyes like polished amber, hurried through the whispering grass. She was returning home from her day of gathering berries and herbs when the last rays of sunlight slipped between the tall trees, setting the forest floor in shades of blue. The familiar path ahead suddenly seemed alien in the fading light. In the center stood a mammoth, its massive form outlined against the darkening sky. Its tusks, like polished ivory, curved gracefully upwards, and its fur, the color of fallen leaves, shimmered in the fading light. But it wasn't the mammoth's imposing presence that stole Lyso's breath, but the gentle vibrations that rolled off its colossal frame. They were like soothing chords on a stringed instrument, resonating deep within her chest. Aiko quickened her pace, her small hand brushing against the cool bark of a nearby oak. As she rounded a thick cluster of ancient pines, a strange sound washed over her, a deep, rich vibration that seemed to emanate from the earth itself. She emerged into a small clearing bathed in the soft glow of twilight. Aiko had heard tales of such creatures from her grandmother's stories. As if sensing her awe, the mammoth lowered its head, its wise, ancient eyes gazing at her with a knowing depth. "Hello," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the resonant hum. When she opened her eyes again, the forest was inky black, and the stars had begun to pepper the night sky. Days turned into weeks, and the memory of the Whisper Mammoth became a treasured secret in Isio's heart. One evening, as Aiko sat in the clearing, a profound sadness washed over her. Suddenly, she remembered her grandmother's stories about the Whisper Mammoth. Determined to uncover the truth, Aiko set out on a journey to find the oldest and wisest storyteller she could find. When Aiko shared her longing for the Whisper Mammoth, Elara's eyes twinkled with understanding. Elara led Aiko to a secluded grove bathed in dappled sunlight. As Aiko placed her palm on the tree, she felt a surge of energy course through her. She closed her eyes, surrendering to the melody. Aiko approached the mammoth, her hand outstretched. But most importantly, she remembered the purpose of her existence. Her role as the guardian of the Whisper Mammoth, a duty that had been passed down to her from a long line of female ancestors. With renewed clarity and purpose, Aiko vowed to honor her ancient calling. From that day forward, Iko became known as the Song Weaver, a title given to those who carried the Whisper Mammoth's melody in their hearts. And so the legend of the Whisper Mammoth and the Song Weaver continued to echo through the ages, a testament to the enduring power of quiet wisdom in a world that often forgot how to listen. In the quiet of the night, when the stars glittered like diamonds scattered across velvet, Aiko would slip into the forest. It was a melody of forgotten times, a lullaby from the dawn of existence. She could hear the heartbeat of the ancient pines, the whispered secrets of the babbling brook, the silent strength of the steadfast mountains. But the Whisper Mammoth's song was more than just a melody. She learned of a time when the boundaries between the physical and spiritual realms were blurred, when the animals spoke in human tongues and the elements themselves were alive. Her connection to the forest grew so profound that she could sense the subtle shifts in its energies, the delicate balance that held its myriad inhabitants in harmony. And yet, despite the ancient wisdom she now possessed, Aiko remained humble.